Gamar Chatima Tova. This is 40 Days Till a Better You, and this week's theme is generosity. I want to look at a central text on generosity, which comes from Deuteronomy chapter 15, verses 7 and 8. And there we read, "If, however, there is a needy person among you, one of your kinsmen in any of your settlements in the land that the Lord your God is giving you, do not harden your heart and shut your hand against your needy kinsman. Rather, you must open your hand and lend him sufficient for whatever he needs." One thing this text makes me realize is when I am faced with the option to be generous or to be able to give charity to others, sometimes I harden my heart. I wonder, does this person really need the money? Why can't this person work to get this money? Right? I was able to achieve this for myself. Why can't this person do it as well? Or I might say, what is this person going to use this money on? Is it going to be for his basic necessities, or is it going to be for something superfluous, or maybe even some addiction or other problem in their life? The Torah seems to say, you know what, it's not on you to figure out why the person is poor or needy, but rather you have an obligation to sustain them, and not just a little bit, not just a drop in the bucket, but rather to make sure they have the sufficient means for all of their needs. As a society, we can ask ourselves, do we support the poor by just enabling and by just giving $1 here or there? Or are there larger initiatives, larger policies that we can endorse to say we want to take care of the poor in our society, and there is an option available for other people? Are we just generous with money, or do we also have availability knowing what resources we have in the community, what organizations might be able to assist those who need money, who need or other different types of assistance as well? One other thing to think about with this text is a few verses earlier, God says, you will be so blessed in your country, right, in the land of Israel that you will settle, that you will not have any needy people amongst you. And then a few verses later it says, if, however, there are needy amongst you. And the commentators say, well, wait a second. If there aren't going to be needy people, why do we have this rule for the needy? And one of the answers they give is that in our ideal world, we live in a place where everyone has sufficient means to get by and to be able to live the life that they need to live. However, we often fall short of that ideal, and thus it's a statement of life that there's going to be people who are in need. And when we are faced with that, the Torah says we need to open our hand, we can't harden our hearts, we need to be able to be generous, because that's the way that we can support others, and that's the way that a society ought to function. There are 6 days until Yom Kippur, 7 days till a better you. Let's make every day count.